Welcome in, folks. My name is Joseph Igo, and today we are previewing this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series race at Phoenix Raceway. So, yes, I will actually be in attendance for this race at Phoenix Raceway on Sunday. I will not be at the Xfinity or ARCA races. You see there on the screen, we got the start times for all the practice for in qualifying for all three of the races this weekend out in Avondale, Arizona. So yeah, crazy week, kind of with all the news dropping, whether that be NASCAR countersuing 2311 and Front Row Motorsports, or Chase Briscoe getting his penalty rescinded, and it's Austin Cindric getting his penalty laid down. All the controversy surrounding that. All I will say is this is going to be a spicy, hot NASCAR media availability this week. 100%. Those will be must-watch media availabilities with all these drivers. I guarantee it. Especially surrounding the Cindric stuff. Guarantee you're going to want to watch Denny Hamlin as it results to the countersuit with NASCAR coming back at them. And Chase Briscoe, who I think's got a great shot to win this weekend. He's going to be coming into Phoenix with some momentum after getting all of those points back in the standings. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff this week. But, yeah, I'm just really excited to see the first real oval of the season. You know, it's hard to say. You don't like to say that, like, oh, that Daytona and Atlanta are fake ovals. But we all know how the dynamics of the racing is there. It's hard to tell who the real good cars and who are the so-so cars. And I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that Christopher Bell would be number one in the power rankings right now. Who Christopher Bell will be going for a third straight win, and funny enough, Christopher Bell won this race last year. So definitely a solid pick to win this weekend would be Christopher Bell, would be his third in a row, first time since Kyle Larson back in 2021. If you didn't watch my video earlier this week about Christopher Bell and the state of Christopher Bell in the NASCAR Cup Series, go watch that video. It'll be linked down below. But yeah, so Christopher Bell obviously has a very good chance to win this weekend. Was the dominant car as soon as he got the track position that he needed last spring. I mean, it was a blowout. It was very obvious he was going to win. And then in the fall, you could even make a good case that he had the best car that day, and kind of let the championship four duke it out there at the end. But Bell, going to be a very popular pick this weekend for sure. Another huge storyline this weekend is the option tire returning for the first time since Richmond last year. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm not looking forward to the option tire. I just kind of think, look, I get what they're trying to see here with the tire wear and everything, but I think we kind of know what we've got in the soft tire, and we kind of know it's good, and we'll see. I'm just not a fan of the option tire. Sue me if you must, but just not really my thing. I like it in F1, like, having the options with the different tires in F1. I think it does make some interesting strategy calls there, but I feel like with F1, it's more of like a weather and conditions type thing. And you could make that same argument about Phoenix, or about that same thing in NASCAR, but I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it last year. I have Daniel Suarez here as a sleeper for this weekend because of how he raced in that option tire race at Richmond last year. And I went back and looked at some of the results of the past 5 or 6 Phoenix races. Daniel Suarez, maybe not finishing top 5, but he was a consistent, fringe top 10, if not in the top 10 guy, in that range of guys almost every time. And I'm not saying he's going to win this week, but, we saw how good he ran in that option tire race, and he's not really one of these guys you think of when you go to the short tracks, and he found a way to make that option tire work for him, and who knows? We'll see. I definitely just think he's somebody to watch because of the option tire factor, as well as he's one of those good, maybe not great guys at Phoenix, but he's certainly in that good tier consistently. That's the big thing that you got to look for. But Yeah, I definitely think Daniel Suarez has got to watch. But so yeah, let's get into the drivers who I think will win and my winner. I guess I'll just start off with who I'm picking to win. I got Ryan Blaney. I just think it's been too many times that he's been so close to winning a race here in Phoenix. It can't go on forever. I'm telling you that right now. If it's not this race, it will be soon. But um, I heard a stat on I'm credit Eric Estep's show with this for the stat, but 7 straight top fives for Blaney at Phoenix, and 4 of them were second place finishes. Crazy. I mean, how many like that? That really reminds me of Sheldon Creed in the Xfinity series with all the second place finishes he has, not just at Phoenix, but just as a whole. Like Blaney is bound to get a win here, and Penske has not been as good in the spring race as they've been in the fall race the last 3 years. That's another thing you got to pay attention to. But but even then, like that's talking Penske as a whole, just speed wise. But like I said, Blaney 7 straight top fives at Phoenix. If you're looking for a lock of a top 5 bet, I mean Blaney is easily the one you should be picking. But he's who I'm going with to win. I think he looked really good, obviously, in the first 2 races of the season and even in the Clash. And then last week, I mean, yeah, it's a road course, not really Ryan Blaney's forte, but he was working up there in the top 10 there towards the end of that race. I know he didn't finish in the top 10, but it felt like an improvement for sure at Coda for Blaney at the road courses. So I'm picking Ryan Blaney to win this race, and I'm pretty confident that if he ain't going to win, he'll be in the top 3 or 5, 100%. Let's get into some other drivers who I think will definitely contend and definitely have a shot to win. Like we mentioned earlier, Christopher Bell. I'm not going to go too much deeper into that. William Byron. It's funny. The 2 drivers who I have listed as my 1 and 2 in the standings, Christopher Bell and William Byron, are the last 2 winners of the spring race here at Phoenix. So do with that information what you will. Definitely 2 of the hottest drivers in the sport right now, and William Byron certainly has a shot to win this race. I will say his win here at Phoenix was like an overtime finish that got very hectic really quick. I was in attendance for that. So yeah, William Byron for sure can win this race. Denny Hamlin, a driver who can win this race. Last year Denny was running in the front, and I don't remember, he got wrecked. I'm forgetting what exactly happened. He was driving that, I gotta say it, that like brakes plus like all red car. One of the ugliest schemes I've ever seen. My apologies, Denny Hamlin, but that paint scheme in that spring race last year was awful. Don't run it again. But yeah, but no, getting back to the point though, Toyota looked really good last year at Phoenix, and Denny Hamlin won here before, I believe multiple times, and tends to just run really strong in Phoenix. So I'm picking Denny Hamlin to win, or not to win, but I definitely think Denny Hamlin would be a solid win pick, and I think he'll definitely contend for sure. Another couple guys who I think will for sure contend is Chris Buescher and Ross Chastain. Chastain won the championship race when Blaney won the title 2 years ago. And Chris Buescher has rattled off a lot of top 5s and top 10s at this track. I actually interviewed him. I think he finished second in the spring last year, and I interviewed him at the end of after that race, and he felt like he had a very good shot to win that race. And I went back and even looked a little further, and he's consistently a top 10 guy at this track. Not maybe the type of guy you think of at Phoenix, but quietly runs very well every time they come there. And I think Chris Buescher is definitely in line to win a race in the regular season. I think he runs too well consistently to like where the statistical probability of him not winning in the regular season to me just feels very low. So definitely look for Chris Buescher and Ross Chastain. Another guy who I think absolutely could be in contention here, I mentioned him earlier, Chase Briscoe. Won this race before, his first ever Cup Series win. I was also at that race. The big thing with Briscoe, this is another aspect, is that the 19 won the pole. The 19 car won the pole here in the fall. And I mean, I'm not sure if Briscoe's capable of running well the whole day because that win he got at Phoenix was on an overtime restart. I remember that overtime restart. I believe it was like Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, and him all like bidding for their first career win. And yeah, he came out on top there. But I think we got to wait and see it. But he's going to be carrying a ton of momentum coming into Phoenix after getting his penalty rescinded from Daytona. So I definitely think Chase Briscoe is somebody to pay attention to, and maybe a sneaky sleeper pick to win. And then as far as anybody else, I mean, you always look at Chase Elliott, right? Chase Elliott's won here before. He's run here. He's run good here multiple times. Seemingly one of the more like the hotter drivers as of late. So I don't know if he'll win, but I think he'll certainly be in contention and has a shot at winning. And then I mentioned Tyler Reddick as well. I don't think Tyler Reddick will win this race, but he's definitely somebody to watch, especially with the speed Toyota's brought to Phoenix the past few years. I definitely think Tyler Reddick could be one to watch. I'm not picking him to win, but he is somebody who I think can win. And yeah, that'll do it. So definitely a very exciting weekend out at Phoenix Raceway. And yeah, if you're going out to the race and you see me, come up and say hi. And so thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for my Phoenix coverage this weekend. Thank you all so much. Take care. Bye.